through Watney. I'm from AutoNaut USV. I'm here today with Terry Hibben, who's our director and director of station and AutoNaut. So we're here today to tell you a little bit about AutoNaut and what it does, and her applications and the sectors we service. So as you can see, AutoNaut is a wave-propelled, solar-powered, unmanned or uncrewed surface vessel. Many applications. We have sectors in defense, mid-ocean, and we also use it as a communications gateway. And one of our main sectors is environmental. So you can see we're quite broad, but what I'm here today to talk to you guys about is the mid-ocean application. So I just wanted to get that photo up so you guys can have a good look. I'll come back a bit. So as far as Met-Ocean goes, a really good example of what we're doing right now is in Barbados with the Met office there. They're actually in the process of replacing all their static weather buoys with AutoNauts. And we've by July this year, we would have sold them 6 of them. So they'll have a whole fleet of AutoNauts, which they use on rotation to send out around Barbados. And there's always 1 or 2 getting sort of serviced and looked after. And then they'll have the rest of the fleet out there moving in and around the weather. So instead of static weather buoys sat in one place, AutoNauts are able to sort of maneuver around and get in front of weather systems, chase the weather essentially. And this is an example of Ocean Hunter. There's just one there at the moment, but she's out there and she's getting all the weather data needed, which is being sent back to BMS in real time. So that's a great example of what we're doing with the Met office at the moment in Barbados. So the sort of data we're collecting with the Barbados boats, your standard sort of Met office stuff is surface and sea temperature, barometric pressure, wave height, humidity, etc., etc. We're not limited to these sensors. You got an analogy my director Terry has been using throughout the event is where you should look at AutoNaut as like a pickup truck. You can sort of load it up with any sort of sensors you can imagine. We got a payload up to 120 kilos. So this is strictly just a Met office application. That's their sensors that they chose to use. But essentially, you can put anything you want on there. So you can even change the application. So the boat can be stripped back. And if you wanted to change it to sort of water quality or some other sort of application, you can refit the AutoNaut with all the necessary sensors, which is nice and versatile. So yeah, I've been asked to talk about strengthening integration and sharing amongst the Met offices. This was our topic for today. So I thought, people don't have to do what BMS is doing. They've bought like almost 6 vessels from us, and they're using that to do all their work around Barbados. But we wanted you guys to know we have quite a flexible sort of program for you. We also offer fractional or shared ownership on AutoNauts. So if you didn't have the budget to sort of get a fleet of them yourselves, we thought we could, we have charter and shared ownership options we'd like to offer people. So this is a point we wanted to push while we're here. We're open to all sorts of models, and we'd really like to talk to other people. This is our first couple years in sort of the Met office scene. We've mainly been using AutoNauts for the sort of environmental, oil and gas, and sort of passive acoustic monitoring sort of sectors. But we're starting to realize that Met-Ocean could be a huge industry for us and really handy. The AutoNauts, one of our main selling points is long endurance. We can send them out for like 4 months at a time. They're solar powered, so really like you can send them on their way. The only reason they need to come back in every now and then is just to have their bottom sort of cleaned. It gets a bit of growth, or maybe you're changing a sensor or 2. But yeah, long endurance and storm proven too. We've sent these things to the South Pole. We've smashed blocks of ice against them. They've been rough weather tested and can self-right. So if they tip over, the weight's been sort of distributed in a way that they self-right themselves. So yeah, big selling point for you for AutoNaut USV, long endurance and tough. So they go really well as weather buoys, mobile weather buoys. And yeah, we're open to new partnerships, and that's really what we're here to do, is just to see how we can help you guys and integrate AutoNaut into the mid-ocean scene. So. Yeah, so this CodeWeb smarter early warning systems, we are essentially early warning. I know I was talking about strengthening integration, but this is an early warning system, just because we can get ourselves in all sorts of positions around the weather. Proven track record. All this action's happening with BMS in Barbados at the moment. So they've been really well. They've done really well at getting this all out into the media. So if you guys want to see what they're doing, you just have to Google it, and you'll see plenty of stuff online. Flexible ownership used models, end-to-end support. What we normally do is whenever we hand over an AutoNaut, we offer training. And so, for example, the guys at Barbados, they've got a whole crew of guys who pilot these vessels themselves. They just needed a few days of training, and it's all done. It's as simple as opening a laptop and sort of getting the program open, and you're on your way. So really easy, but that's something we can do too. Even if you're chartering your vessel or you're using one or trialing one, we can do the piloting. We have a whole team in England who can do that sort of stuff, but it's quite easily transferred and trained. So yeah, this was quite a quick one. Yeah, AutoNaut isn't just a data platform, it's a bridge between prediction and prevention. Let's connect and build a future for integrated forecasting together. We really want to do more partnerships like BMS, and we're realizing more and more now how important this whole mid-ocean scene is. This has been a huge learning curve for me and Terry too. Really glad we came here this week. It's opened our eyes listening to all of you guys, and yeah, we're excited for the future. So, any questions? Yes.
How many of these vessels do you have? Thank you. How many of these vessels do you have already?
I think in the 20s somewhere. Terry, can you confirm?
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. Anybody else? Comes in? Oh, no problem. Yep. Too many questions. I think I zipped through that one. We got a bit of time, but anyway.
So these are obviously, so how do you control that once they go out?
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Because I'm thinking about that perhaps
Mm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so we have a command and control system which steers the AutoNaut, which comes back to the laptops done by a satellite. It's almost like looking at a chart on if you had a big boat or you're on a boat, you set up waypoints and the boat gets to its waypoints, or you can or you can steer it manually from the computer. You can just steer it like a joystick sort of style, right? And when it's getting on its way, we also have it's hooked up. It has something called a radar reflector. So commercial shipping or anybody who's doing good boating is looking at their radar. When they see us on the radar, we look like quite a big vessel. That's the radar reflector. That's what that does. It makes us look really big. So what would typically happen is a guy would be looking at his radar. He'd see us and go, oh, there's something there. It looks quite big. He'll look for us. But because we're quite small and if we're quite far away, he won't see us. But he'll be aware of us. And then we rely on them just when they do get closer, they can see us eventually and they stay on our way. We move very slowly. We only do 2 to 3 knots. So we rely quite heavily on shipping, being good shippers and looking at their radar and avoiding us. Yeah. So did that answer your question?
Yeah, so because like I said, there are a lot of undersized.
Yeah. There is, and there are a lot of cowboys out there too.
Exactly.
Yeah, yeah. And we have had some instances where we've had small collisions, but no major damage ever done. We've had a lot of guys who come up and they just want to see what we are. They think we're like a submarine or, yeah, They think we're smuggling something. Yeah, no, it's exactly right. But we actually, it's quite a secure, obviously it's waterproof, but it's completely secure inside the boat. You can't get in there without actually really hacking it away. You might be able to snatch something off the mast, like a couple sensors or something, but all the expensive items and the important items are in the guts of the boat, and you can't get in there. It's very hard.
I think we have another question.
Great technology. The data that you're collecting from this, is that the property of the country, or is it shared? Is there any kind of data sharing arrangement, whether it be real time or archival data?
Terry, can I ask you to take this question?
It depends on the system people are using. Barbados are using the NOAA satellite, the GO satellite, which part of the deal, it's free transmission. It's only single way. So you make that in the public domain. But normally we would use something like, we just adopted Starlink Mini. So you just desktop straight into it. So you have cybersecurity either way. So you own it. If you want to distribute it or use it, maybe on a dashboard to the public, you choose what you give out. So the data is under your control, and the control of the vessel. You know, in addition to the reflectors, it carries AIS. So it looks, for all intents and purposes, as a ship. It's just a little bit smaller. So.
And just to come back to this gentleman's question here about how we protect it, we've also just with Barbados installed Starlink and cameras. So now you can go to BMS have a YouTube site that you can actually log in and you can see what they're doing through their camera live. And that's because of the new. Well, we've upgraded our batteries with them. We've also upgraded the solar power, which gives us more power, which as a result allowed us to install Starlink and the camera. So now they've got their boats out there with live feed cameras. So that's another way to deter cowboy fishermen or whoever wants to come onto the boat because the cameras will be watching them. Anything else? All right. Thank you very much.